开始。All right, hello everyone. So this is our game. You see, we have this is a simple brick breaker. At the beginning of the game, we have instructions here, and it will only trigger when we open the game. So now let's see, there's a level select. We'll talk about that later. And now let's play first. You can see it is a simple brick breaker game, and we want to break the bricks to get score and get a high score. For the game mechanics, we can see that when we bounce the ball, when we bounce it to the left, it will bounce to the left. And when we bounce at the board's right, it will tend to bounce to the right. With mouse and keyboard control, we can control where the balls fly to, and we can hit some of the bricks we want to break. As we see before, there's an iron brick here. It won't break and does not count as stage clear. When we fail the game, it will end and the score will be clean to 0. Here is a speed up, which will speed up the ball when it hits the speed up brick, and there is also a +1, which will give us another ball when it hits it. So generally, this is the game, and when we finish a level, it will go to the next level. And we can see that the score is accumulated. We have the high score here, so the main goal for the player is to accumulate high score as much as possible. When we finish this level as well, it will go back to the first level. And with level select, we can choose any level we want to choose. And these are the general information for our game. The mechanic, as we can see, the mechanics make sure that there are a lot of things the player could choose to do to make it to get a higher score. For example, when we have multiple balls, it will be safer for the player because they even if they lose a ball, they won't fail the game. However, it also requires them to make a choice between to catch a ball or not, or to maintain a combo or not to get a higher score, so that they will challenge themselves to get a higher score. This is the main goal of the game. And we can see that I think that's it.
Yeah, so let me talk about how our team finished the project and what we did good and what we did bad. Um, so actually, at the beginning of the project, we already see like we will meet challenges like the push and pull conflicts. Um, and so we have some idea for that. So we separate the functions. So each time, so one person will do one function, and so in that case, uh, there is a low coupling between functions, and at one time only one group member is working on the project, so other teammates will start their part after the previous team members done his job and push his version to the cloud. So in that case, we can avoid the pull and push conflicts, and that saves us a lot of time. And also, we push it very frequently. So maybe for function or for a job, at one time we will push 2 or 3 versions. So in that case we have a lot of like saves. So once we done something really bad, we can load back to the previous safe version, and so that can save us for on exception, like programming somewhere and we cannot find it, uh, which is a lot of saves makes things easier. And also we keep contacting a lot. Like for each week, our team will like meet up and contact by Zoom like for maybe 3 or 4 times to update each other's workflow, and we can adjust it if someone need help. But there are also some other things we haven't expected and really challenges our project. So the most big problem is that we haven't make an agreement first about like the game's mechanics. So someone will design the functions by his idea, but some others will think the game will be played in another way. So these two functions will have a really bad cooperations, and our game looks really weird at that time. Uh, and so we have, if that happens, we have to make an agreement, and some one of us need to change his functions, which really takes time. And also the other thing is that we put too much things in one in one file, in one script. So other people have to wait until that person finish modifying the thing. So if we can do that again, we will definitely make a really clear goal at the beginning, and we won't change the goal unless it will to take too much time or resources. And another thing we could do is we can separate the jobs much better, because like now, even though we separate the functions, at last one team members will need to fix bugs of others if they meet problems. But if we separate the jobs in a more higher level, and each team member will can deal all his parts, then that will be much easier for others to keep track on. Yeah, that's the team part. Let's welcome Tong for the next part.
So I'm going to introduce success and failure of our project. So for the success, we fixed many unexpected bugs. For example, one of the bug is when two balls hit each other, sometimes one of the ball will just stop. And so we solve this bug with adding a small force when the ball is stopped. And another success thing is our game has a very simple rule, but requires players concentrations. So it is actually very ritual fun. So about the failure, we actually don't have a lot of enough time to add more game mechanisms and scenes. And also we used some placeholder breaks in the end, and we don't have time to change that. And another thing is our code is not clean enough and may causing some lags if the project was very big. So what we learned from this project is we should definitely read the fine manual in the utility, and we should play ahead, make a document about our thoughts, not just talking about the ideas, so we won't forget those thoughts. And another big issue is uh, we need someone who know arts to help us design our game. And for future things we might do is we might redesign the arts, uh, for for example for the breaks, uh, and we might have more scenes and more types of the breaks to make the game looks more fancy. And the last feature we want to add is when we hit the brakes, uh, it will fall some items, and some of the items might help the players to gain more points, and others might just reduce points. So overall, that's our project, and we have a lot of fun to design it and play it. And thank you for listening.
Also, one last thing before we stop. Here's wait a second, please. Here's our play tests. I thank our three players who gave us a lot of suggestions and about comments. We noticed that they are more skilled. Tend to try to aim for high score, and they are much more skills than we expected. Also, we implemented high score, tried to add instructions. We also sped up the ball, fixed the jittery board, and a lot of other bugs according to their suggestions. So we thank them very much. And there are also some problems we cannot fix or only half fixed according to their suggestions. So generally, all right, that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.